Considering buying a phone or SIM plan from EE and wondering if they're any good? Today, we've reviewed the EE mobile network to see if you should join them, based on their speeds and coverage, roaming allowances, customer service, value for money, and more. But before we begin, if you're looking for a new smartphone or SIM-only deal, click the link in the description to greensmartphones.com. Here, you can compare the best deals on any phone you're considering buying, or click on SIM-only up here to find the cheapest deals on the market when you're watching this, no matter how much monthly data you need and what networks you consider using. So EE is one of the big four mobile networks in the UK, or technically one of the big three since Vodafone and Three merged their operations. This means they have their own network infrastructure rather than piggybacking off a different provider. Compared to some of the other bigger networks, EE is positioned more as a premium option, and they can be a bit more expensive than the likes of Three, for example, though we'll discuss their pricing a bit more later in the video. EE SIMs often come with a lot of extras, and it's the same on their phone plans as well. You can get an eSIM as standard, which is good, and they also offer pay-as-you-go SIMs. EE is owned by BT, so they also offer broadband services as well, and you can bundle them if you want to. If you do this, you get access to this thing called EE One, giving you cheaper prices on other EE products that you add to your plan, such as SIM cards and pay monthly phone deals. Probably the best thing about EE is their speeds and coverage, but there is a catch, especially with their 5G speeds, which we'll explain. EE has the best 4G coverage and speeds of any of the major networks, so you can often get online and make calls on their network in areas you can't with other providers like Vodafone, O2 and Three. As a more premium carrier, their network performance is really good, and it's the same on 5G as well. They offer really good speeds and signal. The problem with EE from a 5G point of view is many of their cheaper SIMs come with speed caps. You can see these are limited to just 100 megabit download speed, and you have to pay more to get unlimited speeds. So even if you're in an area with really good EE 5G signal, you won't get more than 100 megabits unless you pay more for a more expensive plan. And you've also got to be careful that some of their very cheapest plans have just a 10 megabit download speed limit, as opposed to the 100 megabits on most of their plans. In saying this though, if you often go to the countryside, EE can still be a really good choice even if you get a plan with a speed limit, just because of how good their coverage is in remote areas. Roaming allowances are another thing that EE restricts to just their most expensive SIMs. Basically, when you buy a phone or a SIM plan from EE, it'll come with one of these labels shown here. Full Works is the most expensive with everything included, and No Frills are the cheapest options with those 10 megabit download speed limits we just talked about. And basically, to get free roaming in the EU, you have to have at least an Essentials Plus plan. And to roam free of charge in further afield destinations, you need to have one of their Full Works tariffs. The good thing is, if you do get roaming with your EE plan, the fair usage limit is really high at 50 gigabytes a month, assuming of course your plan has at least 50 gigabytes of monthly data. With most other providers, the fair usage limit is lower. For example, it's just 12 gigabytes with Three and 25 gigabytes with O2, meaning with these providers, you can only use a very limited amount of your monthly data usage each month overseas. And if you don't have one of EE's more expensive plans, you can buy roaming add-ons, but again, these are very expensive, especially if you're on a pay-as-you-go plan. So essentially, EE's roaming allowances aren't bad, but they can be pretty expensive to access. EE is not normally the best value for money mobile network on the market. Say you want an unlimited data SIM deal on a 24-month contract and don't need much in the way of extras or add-ons. With Three, this begins at £11 a month at the moment, though this is half price for just 3 months. If we compare to EE, their two more basic, unlimited 24-month contracts start at £27 a month, but this comes with a maximum 10 megabit speed limit, and if you want unlimited speeds, it goes up to £32 a month. £10 a month more expensive than Three. And it's a similar story across most of EE's SIM and phone plans, if you compare them to the other big three networks. They're generally more expensive or more restrictive, especially when it comes to the speed caps they have. We actually don't think having a 100 megabit speed limit is that bad. Most of the time, you don't need anything more than this. But even despite that, EE is still expensive. The thing you're really paying more for though, and the reason it can still be worth choosing EE, is just because of their coverage in the countryside, as we mentioned before. They have the best nationwide 4G, and extremely good 5G availability as well. So depending on your needs and how other networks perform in your area, it can be worth paying more for an EE SIM. But to see if EE offers good value for money when you're watching this, click the link in the description to greensmartphones.com and compare SIM-only deals at this page you can find in the top menu, or browse pay monthly phone plans to find the cheapest deal on a handset you want to buy. EE Mobile has good customer service, but we would expect it to be a bit better given the prices they're charging. If we look at Ofcom data on the numbers of customer complaints that they're receiving about each of the major British mobile networks, you can see EE performs really well here, with just 1 complaint per 100,000 customers per year, and performing better than the industry average, but beaten by Vodafone, Tesco Mobile and ID. The reason EE performs well is they're easy to reach over the phone, and their team is UK based as far as we can tell, which isn't the case with all of the major mobile networks. The reason we think EE isn't any higher is because their live chat doesn't perform as well as they do over the phone in our experience. But on the whole, we still think EE performs really well on average from a customer service point of view. If you're not looking to save as much money as possible, we think EE Mobile is worth considering. They have the best coverage of any mobile network in the UK and offer really good, consistent 4G and 5G speeds, as well as really good customer service. The biggest downside to EE is just the prices they're charging and the speed caps they put on some of their cheaper plans. But if you're in an area with pretty poor coverage on other networks, EE can definitely be worth paying more for. And we'll also mention if you want to use the EE network but don't want to pay their prices or want a more flexible SIM-only deal, come to greensmartphones.com's SIM-only page and click Sprusu and 1P Mobile on the network filters here. And then check out these two companies' SIMs. Sprusu and 1P Mobile both piggyback off the EE network and offer basically the same performance in our experience. Just their SIM plans are a lot cheaper than EE's and almost always come with flexible, rolling monthly contracts. So make sure to click the link in the description to greensmartphones.com to see which SIM-only deal on EE or any other network is best for you, and to compare pay monthly phone contracts as well. And if you have any questions about EE or about choosing a mobile network, let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.